Right, g'day everyone. Sorry about the delay there. I've been trying to load up ArchiCAD on my home computer, so it was a wee bit slower than normal. Anyway, thanks for joining me online. Today what we'll do is have a look at the trace reference, or hamakuga as you call it here, I think it is. So I think you're all reasonably aware with what the tool is and what it's for, but we'll just go through and show you just all the things it can do, and for those that are unaware, just how to use it. So basically the trace reference is this little icon up here. It will allow us to then show other plans or drawings, whatever we want in the background of the current workspace. So if I click on this now, it brings up the default trace reference view, which currently is the story above. So in this project here, as the ground floor has now gone all grayish, and the trace reference story is this red one sitting around here. Now, if we want to change the trace reference, we just open up the menu button up here and click choose reference, and then we can either choose from the default above or below stories, which will just show the story above or below, but with exactly the same settings as you currently have, or you could choose one of your previous views, or you could come over to the navigator and you could choose a particular view. So just say you want to see your floor plan with, say, the roof framing plan, and you right click on the roof, on the drawing you want, or the view that you want, and show as reference. And hopefully, yep, we now can see our roof framing plan overlaid on our floor plan. So then we can work through our floor plan and make any changes in accordance with what we want to do, or how I say in this instance, how our roof plan is working. We could also, just go and put a section. So we want to compare a section against our model and see what's happening. So we can come here and choose section and show as reference, and give it a moment. It should then show up along the line of the section marker and show us what's happening. So there you'll find there's our marker for section A, and our section trace reference has placed itself in the right location. So then we can actually do some stuff in our model and know where things are in our cross section if we need to relate to something in another dimension. Now, to fully manage the trace reference tool, well, another thing to remember too is this one here, the reference on top command. So at the moment, the trace reference seems to be overpowering the drawing itself. So if we turn that, it then brings our drawing more to the front, so we can see our model and whatever the reference is more in the background. Now we can open up the trace reference manager tool. Palette, sorry. It's over here. Hold on. Here we go. So in here, we've got a few more options or commands we can use to manage our trace reference. So again, this is just allowing us to choose the trace reference view. This one here allows us to switch between views. So now it's taken us from our floor plan, and the trace reference in this instance was section A. So it's flicked us along, and now we have got section A as our main view, and our trace reference is floor plan. So we can flip back. The next command is dragging the reference. So let's just say that the view is not a sort of like a model related view. Maybe we've brought in a DVG or a PDF and placed it in a worksheet, and we've used that as our trace reference. Well, this clicking on that then allows us to drag the view or drag the trace reference around when it allows. So now we can move that to the correct location wherever we need on our model. Likewise, this one here allows us to rotate the reference. So if the reference has come in and we want to rotate it so that it's at 90 degrees or whatever, we can click in there and then just rotate with this typical ArchiCAD rotation methods. This button here will then reset the trace reference to its default position. So just say where you had moved it, and then click default, and it will bring it back to the correct location. And then this one here will rebuild the reference. So if you've done something to the section or whatever it is your reference, or someone else is working, say, in a teamwork file and it's been updated, you can update the reference there. Now these boxes here are the colors of the reference and the active drawing. So at the moment this is like set as red, but I can change that to any color I want. So anything that suits. And you can also then adjust its transparency, which is usually better off having it sort of only slightly visible, otherwise it overpowers the drawing. It makes it hard to see what you're actually doing. And same for the active drawing, you can increase the intensity or whatever of that as you need. So sometimes you might want to just see a clearer view of the model. So you could actually just of the trace reference. So you could lighten that as well, and then you can change the colors of that as well to make it clear which view is which if there's some confusion. These controls here, so this one here will temporarily move the trace reference out of the way. When you click, it comes back. So if you just wanted to be clear on something that you've done in the model, you move it out of the way for a while and then bring it back. This one puts the reference on top. So now the reference lines will override the lines below. Now this box here brings it on the splitter tool. Now if you are again working and you want to just check how something works in relation to the reference mark or the reference view, you can use this to bring down and have a clearer look at the reference view, and then let it go and it will return back to where it came from. There's one of those on each side, so you can clearly see, what you're doing. And this one here will hide your fills and transparencies, so you'll just get empty fills basically. And this one here is a nifty little tool. It allows you to define what elements are going to be visible in your trace reference. So maybe you don't want to see some stuff, so like maybe you don't want to see section markers or elevations, drawings. Maybe you don't want line work, or you might want to turn on dimensions, which is quite sometimes handy to see in the background as well. And then you can apply that to all your references, or just leave it for that one, and then that'll change what you can see in the background. Actually, I'll try and hide fills just to see if it does something. So that's quite useful when you have a drawing which has got a lot of information on it and you're bringing it through as the trace reference, but you only want to sort of look at certain things, maybe just the walls or some line work, something like that. Was it not done? Maybe it wasn't a fill. Hold on, if we go. Okay, so in that instance there, I've just turned off show the walls, and so all the walls have disappeared in the trace reference. So if I bring that back, now we can see our walls are back. Another thing that a lot of people quite often need to do is print out the trace reference, and actually going back to that little command there. See, this is quite often annoying where you've got dimensions that don't relate to the story you're on, so you want to hide those. So now they're gone, bang, like that. Another thing people quite often want to do is print out something or save a PDF with a trace reference view placed over top. Now you can just do that from the view you're in. So just say we wanted to print this area here, we can just come here, select that area, and go to our print command. And in our printing box, wherever it is we want to print to, if we choose print reference, that would then print a PDF with the trace reference included. So I'll just print that now, and then we'll bring it across and show you how that worked. Still printing, hold on a second. Where are we going to go? Open that up. Right, hold on, now just find that view that we just saved. So that has saved. Right, come on. Still not opening. Here we go. So that saved our view with the trace reference in the background, just as we saw on the screen. And if we can get out of that. And then the other way is whether you want to print a drawing sheet, say. So if we come to this one here, with a trace reference on it, which is possible as well. So just say that's the ground floor, and we want to put the view of the upper floor over top. Come on, what are we doing here? Oh, we're updating the drawing, so here we go, done. And if we want to put that story back, show us trace reference. Now that is going to show up in a random spot because there it is there. Because we are working with a drawing and a physical view. So the thing we need to do there is just grab the view and drag it to the right location. It's not quite there, so I'll give that another tweak. So now we have our drawing sheet with our trace reference underneath, and when we go to print options for that one, we can again choose to print the reference and it will print out. So that is basically print and reference in a nutshell. So hopefully you picked up something new there. This little thing here is actually something new I learned not long ago. So yeah, so hopefully there's something in there, and we'll catch you all next week. Cheers.